there. Welcome to Within Living's YouTube channel. My name is Lois, and I'm so happy that you're here. And I want to thank you for coming here. So here at Within Living, whether it's here on YouTube or on my blog at withinliving.com, any of my coaching courses or one-on-one coaching, soon to be released books, or any of my content that you might find around the internet anywhere, all our conversations are going to be focused specifically on consciousness, right? And when I say consciousness, I'm talking about the superconscious mind, who many of us call God or Allah or the source or the creator or the universe or the infinite. Doesn't really matter what we call it. No, because you see, it is the I. It is the I. It is the all. It is also considered the all. And it has named itself I am. I, existence. Nothing exists that does not exist within it. And am, because it is everything. Everything is within I am. I am is in everything. That's animate and inanimate. Okay, so our focus is going to be on this consciousness, because we're all a part of this. It's one consciousness. One consciousness, one God, one source, and we're all a part of it. We're a key part of it, each and every one of us. And so I'm going to take the conversation even a little bit further than that, and I'm going to point it back specifically to you to encourage you to go back within. Go within and ask the questions. Whatever questions come up, it is the source of your existence. It is the infinite knowledge and wisdom within you. Go within and ask the questions. If you ask the questions, you're going to get the answers, right? And when you get the answers, I'm not asking you to ask the questions because I question what I'm saying. I don't. Absolutely not. I'm asking you to do that so that you can begin to develop your own personal, unique relationship with the essence of who you are, with this creative source, this aspect of who you are within you, of this consciousness. So all my content here to you then, they're going to be thought-provoking. I'm going to bring to you things that are going to kind of jog you and help you to wake up a little bit more in your spiritual awakening. This platform has been brought forth to support you on your spiritual journey. So yes, my content is going to be thought-provoking to you. Yes, my content is going to cause you to have to rethink a few things. Yes, my content is going to cause you to have to go within and ask the question. And yes, my content is always going to motivate you to do the work. There's some inner work that we need to deal with. And so this is what we bring forth here on the Within Living Conversations, all the conversations. So if myself or my content resonates with you, go ahead and join us. We're all full of love here. We came out of the one source who is love, and we're all full of love. And so we're inviting you, come on in, hit the bell right there, go ahead and subscribe, come on in and join us, bring your own love added to the pile, okay? Because it is all about this one love. And then once you've subscribed, if this video really blesses you and you resonate with it, like it. Like it, like it, like it, like it, like it. Hit the ring bell button so you're notified the next time I upload a new video. And go ahead and share it, okay? Anyone you know that can be blessed by this content, go ahead and share it. All right, so today now, let's get into today's conversation. Thank you for the introduction there. So today, we want to talk about your spiritual life. And again, I don't know what we're going to title the video just yet, but just know this conversation is going to be focused on, your spiritual life. The work. What is the work? Maybe that's the title right there. Y'all know how I flow, right? I never know the exact words. Yes, today I've jotted down a couple notes, right, for this conversation, but it's not choreographed. I just jot down the notes, the ideas as it comes to me. But yes, I think the title or something we're going to be talking about is, what is the work that I'm always talking about? Go back within and do the work. What is the work that is required in your spiritual growth, okay? All right, so having said that, first, when we first become awakened, right, and for many of us, I'm not going to say all of us, because I have a friend who never was affiliated with any religion at all. and just had her own spiritual awakening and has lived in that awakening. She's someone that's my age group, so in the 70s, right? And so she's been able to raise her children. She's now a grandmother. And so she's raised her children out of her wisdom, out of her revealed truth of who she is, within her, her soul, at her being, the God presence within her. And her children now are raising their children likewise. So not all of us have had to have this jolt, but for many of us, we had an experience about something. Something happened in life. It could have been a very traumatic thing. It could have been a very joyful thing, right? It doesn't always have to be trauma. It could be a very joyful thing. But something, we had some experience that opened the door, that took the barriers off, if you will, from the source of us, who is your true divine essence and nature, your soul, to then begin to reveal to us, oh, you're more than your flesh and blood. You're more than your humanity, right? There's much more going on to you than that. So that's the introduction of our spiritual awakening. Many of us, once we've been awakened, and I do also know people who've been awakened and maybe had a mystical experience or two, who have chosen not to go down this path. It freaked them out, and they decided the egoic life is much better. I'm going to keep doing that, and they doing that just fine. We can't find any fault with them because the source of them finds no fault with them either, because we all have totally free will to choose. We get to choose. But for those of us who then have been awakened and we have decided to embrace our awakening, then we start coming to the realization at some point in time, it begins to be revealed to us, if we're really working with the journey, that somehow, somewhere in there, we might not be able to articulate it effectively in the beginning, but we start having an understanding. Even if the mind, logical, this thing up here can't grasp it, we start having a knowingness. We just know that we know. It doesn't make any sense, but I just know that I know that I know. Me and God are one. I'm in God, God is in me, me and the source are one. Yeah? So that's the beginning of that awakening. Okay, so your spirituality or your spiritual awakening is a call. It is a jolt. It is a wake-up call to you. To wake up from the dream that you have been dreaming. Because again, like I've told you in many of my videos going back, I'll link some of them here, the physical world is not the real you. The physical world and all your physical experiences in your humanity are all reflections of what is coming out of the soul of you. And not just the soul of you, no, but the soul of all humanity. Because remember, all souls are in the one consciousness, in the one God presence, in the one God mind. So you need to be very aware that you are a part of this one consciousness that contains all other souls, and that the experiences that we're experiencing in life, things that happen that maybe prior to your physical awakening, you just accepted them. Well, it's life, it's tradition, it's the way it's always been. It's that way because we, the humanities, in the one consciousness, have created it forth. We didn't really create it as such. We pulled it out of an invisible world where it already exists through our imaginations. And in one of my videos, a couple weeks back here, I know we talked about that there's no fiction, there's no coincidence, there are no accidents. Everything you see, time and space, are not real. They're illusions. They're human construct. They're created or brought forth because of the human mind, right? Our humanity. Our thoughts is what we decided we wanted, so we get to have it, because the source of us cannot say no. It has to give us whatever our predominant thoughts and convictions are that we have. Okay. So then your spiritual awakening then is to cause you to come up to a higher vibration. And one of my videos also there going back, we talked a little bit about vibrational levels, that when we're in lack, when we're feeling victimized, when we're stressed out, when we're depressed, when we feel defeated, when life is just full of just all these challenges and limitations, that our vibrational energy is really very low, okay? So your awakening then is to wake you up and say, this is the reality of where you are. But you have the free will. The free will of the choice to choose, my friend. You get to choose. You get to choose that, yes, it may be where I am today, because that's who I have been believing that I am. That's who I have convinced the soul of me that I'm wanting to be. But now that I wake up and I realize I don't like this low energy that much anymore. I want to be up here at this high vibrational energy where I am flowing in love. I'm flowing in abundance. I'm flowing in peace. I'm flowing in prosperity. I'm flowing in excellent health. I'm flowing in all the best things that life has to offer me. Right? Then you begin to do the work to raise your vibration from here to here. That's what I mean when I talk about coming in harmony with, right? You already are whole, perfect, and complete here. When we are here, this lower level, and we wake up and realize there's all this much more and that we can have it. It is not for just the elect or the select few, as some bogus teachings would make us to be, but it's for anyone who believes that they have already received it, because that's the promise. Then once we understand that and we choose to have it, then we are doing the work. The work that we're doing is first understanding what is the energy here, who is the real self here, what is its nature, what is its characteristic, who is it? And then we're going to change now ourselves to come in harmony with it here, okay? So that's what we mean by that, okay? All right, so when you awaken in your spiritual awakening, yes, not only is it your opportunity to raise your vibrational energy and start living in a higher state of vibration, right? But you also begin to recognize and become aware that you are a divine being. Because you're a divine being, you are a spiritual being. And because you are a spiritual being, you are an eternal being. So you start realizing and recognizing and knowing, not only am I one with God and God is one with me, but I'm in God and God is in me. God dwells in the very depth of my being. God is the very essence of who I am. Therefore, this thing that is called death has no effect on the real me, because the real me cannot die. It is eternal. The body part of me, the creative part of me, yes, that was made, created. And yes, that is temporal. And yes, just like these clouds, it grows old and it's going to become worn out and it's going to fall off. But the real essence of me can't fall off. It goes on forever. Wouldn't you know, I just dropped my papers on the floor. But in any case, it's like, okay, so this top here, I can wear it and 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 wash it, clean it, wash it, clean it, wear it. It starts fraying, it starts getting raggedy. Before you know it, it's full of holes, it's worn out. I got to throw it out. But my body, who is in the shirt, this blouse, I don't throw my body away with the blouse, because the blouse got worn out. My body still stays on and takes on itself another blouse or maybe a dress, who knows? It is the same thing with you at the soul. The soul of you is like the body in the blouse here. And the body of you, and the soul of you is like the body. It's like the body in the blouse here, right? And this experience you're having in human form in your physical body is like this blouse. Every year you gain on planet Earth, it gets a little more frayed. Every year you gain, and when we start getting up there and getting them, oh God, we're so grateful for every moment. Yes, this is where I'm at. Oh, so grateful to have another moment of it. But it starts wearing, and it starts tearing, and it starts getting holes in it, just like the blouse, okay? All right, let me get my paper. Just give me a second. Okay, wouldn't you know it, I had to drop them all, right? Okay, so anyway, you have this realization that the real you is truly eternal. Okay, so in your spiritual awakening, you don't really need a teacher, you know. I don't like to be thought of as no teacher, okay? Nope, I just don't like to be thought of as no teacher. Because I had my own experience and my own realization that we all have a teacher built in, and it is the source of you. It is the source of you. Can someone come along as a guide to you to help you to find your way, that the teacher of you, the source of you, works through to help you find and maneuver your way on your journey? Yes. Yes. And that's how I consider myself. But the real teacher of you, which is why I always tell you, go back within. Go back within and ask the questions. If you ask the questions, you're going to get the answers. You're just going to get the answers. God never fails. God can't deny. God's always going to answer. Whether you hear it or not, that's on you. You may not be paying attention. And God is so loving and so faithful that God will keep coming and coming and coming and coming and bang you over the head until you hear it, then you get it, right? When you get it, or when the source of me speaks through the vessel of me then, the guide, to speak into the soul of you, the source of you, to meet a need within you, something you desire, something you require, to bring clarity and understanding to you, and that more wisdom could be released to you from within you. It's the one source in me that's the same source in you that's doing the work. So I am the vessel. Yes, I am the vessel. So having said that, I say that to come to this point that in spiritual awakening, nobody can really teach you and tell you exactly how to do it, and this is the only one way. No, we can give you examples and ideas from our experiences as to what has worked for us. Then it's up to you to go take that information. If it resonates with you, accept it, apply it. That's why I always give you affirmations and tell you how to apply it. That's for that purpose. You apply it. If it works for you, fine. If it doesn't work for you, it's fine also. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means we're not at the same place at the same time and we're not resonating with each other. It's not wrong or right. There is no wrong or right in spirituality. No, because there's no one size that fits all. So don't let anybody put you in a box that tells you it must be this way. It doesn't. No, that's bondage. That's pure bondage. And that's not what your spiritual awakening is about. Your spiritual awakening is your awakening to the freedom of who you are. The awakening to the realization that yes, you are more than flesh and blood. Yes, you are one with the source of your very existence, God. And yes, God is right within you, not off up there, out there somewhere that you have to hope to get to in this lifetime or some other lifetime. But God is present with you now. God hears you now. God always hears you and God always answers you. This is what this is about. So then, it gives you that freedom then, the freedom from the bondage of having to depend on anyone outside of yourself. You are self-sufficient. You are self-sustaining. You are self-reliant within yourself at the source of your existence. This is what I mean by that when I always say that. So you turn within to the God presence within you. And whatever you want to, if I say something and you don't understand it, and your spirit beckons you for deeper understanding, go within yourself and ask the source of you. And if I say something that you vehemently disagree with, don't judge it. Because if you judge it, I'm here to tell you, you're not offending Lois. Not at all. You're passing judgment on your own self. And you will be hindering your own spiritual growth. So don't judge it. Just leave it behind. go within yourself and ask your source to show you, for you personally, give you your own revelation on that particular thing, okay? All right, so in your spiritual awakening, you also begin to recognize and know that you are absolutely unique. Oh, yes, you're unique. You are so unique that all those things about yourself that maybe you used to find fault with, all of a sudden you're realizing they're your treasures. All of a sudden you begin to realize that they make you special and separate and apart from any other body else anywhere else. Anywhere. You're unique. And because you're so unique, you were made unique. There's no accidents. There's no accidents. There's no, quote, deformities. That's what we call them in the physical world, in the egoic world. God didn't screw up or make a mistake anywhere because God simply can't. God can't. And when you understand who you are, and you understand that you're the soul, and you understand that as the soul or spirit, you are the direct incarnation of God itself. You are God keyed low. You are made in the image and the likeness of God. Then how can you be defective? You cannot. So you stop labeling yourself. Okay, so let's say now your uniqueness, you're beginning to recognize your uniqueness. You also begin to recognize your talents, right? That you're incredibly talented and all your gifts and your abilities. You'll also begin to have, if you're not yet in tune with it, you'll begin to feel a sense of a drawing of purpose, that you have a very specific, unique, divine purpose. And your talents and your abilities is all in accordance with the divine purpose for which God made you the unique soul and gave you the unique body that you're embodying at the time to fulfill its unique expression in human form through you in a way that no other body else can speak to you. No other body else can resonate with you. No other body else can connect with you because you're bringing it forth in such an absolutely unique way. You see, when we understand that and we know that, then we know that the thing they tell us in life about competition is bogus. It's just as bogus. There is no competition in the source. There is no competition. How can competition means lack and limitation. It means lack. I'm not talking about sports. I'm talking about in life. If you want an amount of money or a house or a certain experience, you don't have to dog anybody else to get to it, or that job. No, you don't have to step on anybody's toes to get to it. Because when you do, you're coming from a place of lack and limitation. When you understand who you are, that you're one with your source, and there is no competition, and that you are so unique, you are so precious, you are so treasured, you are the prize, then you know that the God of you have that one unique position available to you and will bring it to you and fulfill it for you as you remain faithful. But you see, you got to remain faithful. You got to remain faithful to yourself. You got to remain faithful in trusting yourself. You got to remain faithful in relying upon yourself, which is relying upon your source. Okay? All right. So let's see now. When in your spiritual awakening, having said what I just said there, okay, then you begin to see the world totally different. You begin to see and realize there's really no competition. You begin to realize that I don't have to rush and stress for anything. I don't have to have a fixation in chipping away at these goals to get them done, right? The source of me already has the plan. I already have the thing in the invisible world. I am already that in, let's call it the quantum field, in the spirit world. And I trust the source of me. You gave it to me as a desire. Then it's mine. I'm good. I got it. And I own it. I have possession of it. And I trust you unwaveringly to bring it to pass in my physical experience. Because it's not the thing you're after, you see. It's just the physical experience the source of you want to experience through you with the thing. Whatever that thing is. Even if it is fulfilling your divine purpose. Even if it isn't a fulfillment of your divine purpose, because whatever your divine purpose is, believe me, there's somebody out there. Like within living, I didn't come to speak to everyone. No. And I know that. And I don't want everyone here. Because everyone can't hear what I have to say. They cannot. They're not ready for it. So those who I am sent to speak to are the ones that I decree and I declare to be here, and no one else. And so is it with you. Whatever you're called to do, you don't have to worry about where they're going to come from. If you're an artist or something, you don't have to worry where the sale's going to come from. Who cares? The source of you knows exactly who needs a piece of art that you're doing. If you're a painter, they know. If you're a seamstress, the source of you know exactly who needs that second piece of clothing. If you're a builder, the source of you knows exactly who needs, who wants what you have that you need to be built. If you're a musician, the source of you know exactly who needs to hear exactly what you're singing about at this moment to bring peace to them or joy to them. There's no competition here. None. None. That's human perspective. Okay, so as your priorities begin to change, you begin to feel more and more alive. That was one thing I noticed about my spiritual awakening. You begin to feel like, oh, you realize for real that. And you look back on life, it's like, how did I even go through that? You realize you were totally asleep. Physically awake, but spiritually totally asleep. So in your spiritual awakening, you start recognizing that you are alive. You start feeling that you are alive and you are awake. You start becoming more compassionate, more understanding, and you start doing it with yourself. You start first in the self-love of being more compassionate, more understanding, more forgiving, more tolerant of yourself, more tolerant of others. And then you start seeing others as you start seeing yourself, because you start realizing that, wait a minute, if there's only one consciousness here, pardon me, and we're all in this one consciousness. We talked about it in a video going back, we're the mirrors, right? I love it, okay. So then you start realizing, wait a minute, we're all in this one thing. It's the one source in all of us. So as I'm becoming understanding, compassionate, forgiving, loving to myself, I start seeing that in you as well. I start not seeing a nitpicky and on all your human frailties, but I start seeing you, acknowledging you for who you are as a soul. You know, because again, it's written in one of them scriptures, and it says, to the pure, all things are pure. So if I am pure within me, I can only see the purity in you. I don't care what hang-ups and what faults you have in the human part of you. I don't even see them, because you don't come to me that way. You don't mirror to me that way, because that's not who I am. So if I'm seeing purity, because I am pure and I'm resonating with my purity, then I can only see and expect that from you in return. And it is true in manifesting, and I don't want to get off onto that subject right now, but when we manifest, in manifesting, we actually are manifesting people to come to us the way we see them, the way we perceive them, okay? Because if you pay attention in your life, a person might deal with you one certain way and deal with somebody else another certain way. You ever wonder why that is? It's because of how you deal with them. It's because of who you perceive them to be in the depths of your being. And that comes from how you see yourself. Because we can only bring to us people that are going to mirror back to us to show us exactly who we are. So if people are showing up that you don't really care to have, you should ask yourself, what is it about me, inside of me, that I need to work on to change, that I'm not reflecting that outside, okay? Also, your spiritual awakening is also about a time to be introspective. This is where you need to really start spending time within yourself, really being introspective about where your life has been, where it is now, and where it is you want to take it, and make some concrete decisions, clear, decisive decisions about the outcome of the life you want. And in terms of manifesting, although this conversation is not about that, you have to be clear, specific, and direct about what it is that you're wanting to experience. Okay. So all these things are components of why your inner work is so key. This is the things that we're working on when I talk about going back within and doing the work. Yes. I'm not talking about laboring. I'm talking about going back within here and taking care of these things. Refocusing your thoughts, changing your conviction about who you've been identifying self as, right? And harmonizing now with identifying self with the true God self of who you are, excuse me, at your soul. This is an opportunity, and we call this dying to the self, okay? So you hear me talk a lot about why change self first. This is why you change self first. So in your spiritual awakening, this is your opportunity to begin to die to the egoic self. You've been living in the egoic self until you awakened. And in awakening, most of us are still living out of the egoic self until we've truly put it to death. And we don't really stop living totally and completely out of it until we check on out of here into the next life, okay? There's always going to be some part of it that we're working toward deflating. So when we're living out, we're going to want to be dying to the egoic self. We have to die to the egoic self in order to allow the true self, which is the God presence, the true essence of your divine being, where you're whole, perfect, complete, self-sufficient, self-reliant, super abundantly supplied, infinitely loved. All those characteristics of the source, which is your divine nature, the true identity of you, to come forth and be the dominant personality then. That's what we're doing. We're changing personalities, going from the fake bonus one, dying to that, and awakening, living in the new identity of the true self of who we are. Okay? We must become transformed. Okay? You're not going to just die to the old self by saying, you know what? Oops, yes, I'm dying to it. I don't want to be it anymore. It's a lie. It's not true. No, you can't just decide you've been that way for what, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, 90 years. And all of a sudden you're going to say, oh, yeah, I'm not going to be being that anymore. I'm being this other person, and think that this is a conviction. Then you're in self-denial. The only way that you're going to truly take on the new image, the new identity of your new self, you have to reprogram your mind. You have to create a new thought pattern. You have to create a new habit. You have to reinforce that new habit until it becomes your conviction. It is your conviction that actually creates inside of you the new harmony to the true self. Okay, that's not just in the science. I'm going to take you back to the book, the religious book. Okay, it says we become transformed through the renewing of our minds. That's in Romans 12:2, for those of you who want to go and look it up. It says, do not be conformed to this world. In other words, don't become so conformed and fixated on the identity of the egoic self. The egoic self is the external self. It's the human perspective of self. It says, but, you must become transformed by the renewing of your mind. Renewing means rebirth. Rebirth. You have to change your thinking. You have to change your belief. You have to change your conviction. And then in Romans 6:6 and Ephesians 4:22 and 24, it says we must die to the old egoic self with its selfish desires, power-seeking, approval-seeking, people-pleasing, craving comforts and security as its root. Those are the fundamentals of its security, and its insecurity and its limitations. Those are some of the traits of the egoic self. So we have to die to that take on the new concept of self, which is the identity of the nature and the characteristic of your God self, of your God presence, of the God within you. How are you going to take on that nature and characteristics of God? It's to get to know God. You have to get to know God. You have to get to know God in order to get to know you, the real self. Okay? And so you do that. The nature then of God, the characteristics are in the image and the likeness of God that you were created in. It is non-judgmental. It finds fault with no one. It loves unconditionally. It is self-confident. It is self-sufficient. It is fearless. It is kind. It is generous. And it goes on and on and on. This comes out of developing a relationship with self. And that's why I always tell you, go back within and ask the questions. Get to know your true divine nature. Get to know your true self. It's not just about going, oh, I'm spiritually awoke and I'm going through this journey here. It's about developing a relationship, an intimate relationship of unwavering trust and reliance on the God presence of you, who is you at your essence of life. So your awakening is waking up from the dream of life, from the false self, the egoic self, and awakening to the realization of your true divine nature, your God presence and God self. From my experience, we do the inner work. It brings transformation. When it brings transformation, we are truly changed within people. And when you're changed within, your without has no other choice. It must follow. Life isn't led from without. Sorry, that's the lie they've told us. It's not true. Life without is the reflection of within. Change within and everything without must change. And as you harmonize with your true divine nature, you accelerate your vibrational level, right? Your energetic level, and you begin to come more and more in harmony with the God presence of you. That's why you can't just sit on a bump on the log and say, I've been awoken and I'm just being. Being what? No, because you have to continue to do this work. You're already ascended. You're already sanctified, okay? You're already enlightened. Your soul is. But the personality of you have not been. And this is what the work is to bring you back now, to come in harmony with your true self, the soul. Okay, so this tape is really long. I really appreciate you. I always say I'm trying to make them shorter and shorter, right? Never works out. I have no control of what the source of me brings up through me. So there we go. Thank you for being here. I so appreciate you. Thank you for putting up with it being so long, okay? I really appreciate that. But no, my videos are very potent and they're always layered. I encourage you, take this video right here, especially the last couple ones I've done. I'm linking them all in my description box right here to give you a fuller understanding. So look in the description box always, all right? But I'm encouraging you, go back and listen to them, put them on a loop, listen to them over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until something within you resonates and say, aha, I got it, okay? And you have your own revealed truth. All right, so till next time, go to the blog, sign up for the blog content there. And by the way, I'm going to be putting in my description box, I have a 1-year series of motivational messages that to help and support you in your spiritual awakening, 5 days a week, Monday through Fridays, 1-year supply of it. I was going to make it into a calendar, and I think I still am. But for now, I felt last night that the source of me just told me to offer that to you for a moment. So I got to go create a link for it so that you can get access to it and you can subscribe to it, okay? All right, so whenever I get that done, I'll put that in the description box and I'll have it there for you. So thank you again for being here. If this video blessed you, and I know that it did, I'm asking you to like it. Go ahead and like it so YouTube will be more favorable to us, right? And you know what? I'm going to start deliberately manifesting against YouTube because I know they've been doing stuff. Okay, so manifesting the God presence of me can just erase that, take us to where we need to be. But thank you for being here. Y'all know I love you so much, right? I truly do love you. And you were made out of love, my friend. You came out of love. You are love at your essence. It's who you are. That's really the true self of you. So I'm sending love to you. I'm telling you, take it, soak it up, go get with your source, spend time within, ask of it, seek of this love, experience this love, and then you go give it out. Okay? All right. So until next time, like the videos, share the videos, go to the blog, and go check out my courses. Yes, you need to go and check out my courses. Put your comments in the comment box below, and I will answer the ones that I'm so led to respond to, okay? And until then, I'm just going to say, remember, we are in one consciousness. There's only one God. There's only one God, not many gods. There's one. And we're all an integral part of this one God. We're in the one consciousness, my friend. And all that I am is the same as you. And I see you as I see myself. I'm sending that love to you today. I'm giving that love to you. So one love, peace, and bye-bye for now.